Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Weird weather out there right now. I was going to show you some of the San Francisco cameras I have access to. They're down right now. Crazy, they're always up. But here's a live look at Monterey. It's like tropical clouds, little humidity, some heat. Thankfully, the heat seems to be dissipating. I'm not a big fan of sweating. I'm really not. But it's been uncharacteristic. I say uncharacteristically hot. It was the first day of summer yesterday. It is almost July. I mean, it is supposed to be like this at some point. I don't know if I was fully ready for it. Do you want to start the live stream?
Broadcasting live and worldwide.
Oops.
Here's Brody Brazil.
There we go. Just hanging out here tonight. I wanted to do a little Q&A. I'm watching the A's game over there. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see it on the reflection of that glass right there. There's a big 80-inch television here in the conference room, so that's how I keep an eye on the game. That's why I will be a little bit distracted. But they're already down 3-0. The Mariners have scored in all of their at-bats so far. It's so frustrating. I will open up the Q&A, which I appreciate some for already joining. For example here, Razor. Hey, Brody. How's it going? What about the Stanley Cup Final? You know what, Zach? What I do is I recap it. All the game nights, I go back and find out what happened after the fact. I'm too consumed in my own world here of the Oakland A's to multitask. It's A's and Sharks and streaming right now. That's what I'm working on. And I'll get to the Bolts and Avs when I can. I'm still pulling for Colorado. It's nothing against Tampa. Three-peating would be monumental. It doesn't happen that often, especially in the NHL, but it's just something about the Avs. The first time they got past the second round this year with this current team, and not in history, I'm just saying with the current core, and I knew if they could do that, and when they did that, they'd go all the way to the final, and here they are, and I don't know, I am kind of pulling for them, there's no doubt about that. Tej, am I saying that right? I hope I am. Tej, checking in from Toronto, appreciate that. Hello, Riley. You're a loyalist, and I appreciate that. How do I like that MacBook Pro? It's okay. I've had this one since 2018, so I'm probably due for a new one, to be honest. I have 3 Macs that I operate with. The laptop, which I carry with me. I have an iMac at my desk at home, and then in the home studio, it's a Mac Mini. So I don't actually need a lot of horsepower out there, but the Mac Mini it's actually, I'm probably the most happy with the Mac Mini of all the Macs that I have. But those are the 3 I use. I think the iMac, and it's from 2015, I think the iMac is probably due to be retired. I just need something with a little bit more horsepower for editing and such, a little bit more storage. I don't store anything on the computer. I'm a total NAS guy. So I got the network attached storage drive. I got 2 RAID drives in a Synology enclosure. It's a really good setup. But in terms of computing power, I need more for editing. I need something newer. I'm probably going to get that Mac Studio. Hello to Sandlot. Brian, how are you, buddy? You should be watching the game right now. Maybe you're multi-screening it, or are you at the game? You're probably at the game, aren't you? I like Nick Allen. Like the fact that he homered last night. Like the fact that he's undersized. I'm watching Tony Kemp at bat right now. Same reason I like TK. I root for the smaller players who are maybe not overshadowed, but are not given the same opportunity because of stature, or not given the same recognition or hype because somebody looks at him and says, well, what are they going to do? So I love Nick Allen with the A's, and I'm wondering if this is the call-up. I'm wondering if this is the time where he comes up and stays. He was up in, was it May? Most of May, a big part of May, and got sent back down. You understand that's going to be the course of any young emerging player. They're not necessarily, like, Pache's a rarity. He's up, he's staying up, there's no going back. So, here and there is not uncommon for young players, but I'm hoping that this now is the chance for him to be a middle infielder. I don't know what that means for, a Tony Kemp playing time or an Elvis Andrus playing time, but if this is going to be something to look forward to the rest of the season, then I'm down for it. That's what the A's need. Their record is what it is. Their outlook as a team is what it is. So I'm kind of reverting back to 2017 feelings all over again, right? When Olsen and Chapman came up, and it was kind of a turn. Like you could see what's next. If that's what we're getting with Nick Allen, one of the guys who you could say that's next, then I'm excited about that. Let's go back here. Honest opinion, when do I think the Sharks will make the playoffs again? Cole, it's hard to go down that road entirely when they haven't made any offseason moves yet, and I also don't know who the person is that will be responsible for making said moves. So impossible for me to give you something right now that I could really put my name on or a stamp on and feel good about it. Sure, could I tell you, well, they've got a shot next year? I mean, it's possible. It's not impossible. I think there are some depth issues that need to be addressed before then. You'd obviously be hoping that next year some of the emerging players from this year take another step. What about the Coes and the Eklunds of the world? Is Ozzy Weisblatt going to get a chance? How will that go? Development, right? There's a lot of young players who are there and are in the pipeline, but will they be ready? And will they make a difference? Will they make a difference of a team last year that had 7 and 9 game losing, a 10-game losing streak? Will those players alone make the difference to get them back into a playoff situation? I think that's probably asking a lot, but it's a combination of everything, right? Maybe a couple trade moves, maybe opening up some salary cap space to, acquire some depth up front. I really think that's where the team was lacking last year, depth up front. So maybe the better answer to your question, or the better response to your question, is if they get deeper up front, and if their young players develop, and quite honestly, if they make a few maneuvers to free up some cap space and for the future, then yes, I don't think it's far-fetched that they could make the playoffs next year. But that's a lot that needs to happen. Mitch says, I should play MLB The Show soon. Okay, I will. I'm here at work, right? So I don't have the Xbox with me, clearly. But I will. At the home studio, I'll bust that out again. I'll play a little MLB The Show 22. What are my favorite shenanigans that Sharky has pulled on me at the games? Well, the silly string one was pretty obvious. He also doused me with a super soaker once, which was a hard recovery, right? Like my whole hair and head and suit was soaked. And that was like second intermission. So I only had about 20 minutes to dry everything off and come back for the postgame show like nothing had happened. But the real one that caught me by surprise, and it was one of his first and earliest pranks against me, he had some type of contraption built with toilet paper and like a leaf blower. So the leaf blower blew the toilet paper off its roll and shot it at me from a distance. I'm literally coming back from commercial. I'm like, hey, Brody Brazil here in the second deck. I don't know what I was doing. Some type of promotional hit on camera, on the broadcast. I had no clue. He comes out of the little tunnel, blows it right at me. So I'm holding the mic, can't even talk. Well, I did. I continued, but toilet paper all over me, all over everybody around me. They're all laughing at me, which, it's funny because I'm going along with it. I had no idea that was coming. So what else has he done? He's thrown me around on the ice. He's slapped me silly a few times. I don't know who to call. Sharks HR or NBC HR? I can't even say that with a straight face. But the moment he busts out the smelling salts is the moment I'm really we're gonna have a talk. Riley, thank you so much. The lighting is awesome in here, because honestly, in this room, there's no lighting. There's nothing. I do not have a single special light on me right now. There's fluorescence up in the ceiling. There's some spotlights out there in the hallway, which you can see. So the cool thing about this room, which I've been using now for almost a year for these live streams, especially in shark season, is that it works nice with my little 2 camera setup. It's more so how the cameras are shaded and colored and the settings of the cameras, which I've tried to master, which kind of work with the light more than the lights in here being any good, if that makes sense. So, Brian, I would love to autograph your vest. I appreciate the offer. Thank you for being here in the super chat. You do so much for me in this channel already, which I appreciate. So thank you for that. You would like Casey to sign it too. Okay, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think Casey would have the same sentiments as I do. We'd be honored. So we should connect because I do know a few dates that we're actually going to be out at games coming up in the next 2 weeks, actually. So I will look forward to that. I would love to sign the vest. I would love to slap hands and see how you're doing, and I hope all is well. And again, thank you, Brian, for being here in the super chat. I do appreciate that. Oh, Zach already going there on Brent Burns. Who do I see him being traded to, and what do the Sharks get in return for him? So this is a weird conversation to have because realistically, yeah, I don't want to see Brent Burns get traded. I think of all the solid, reliable pieces from last season, like all of the staple pieces of the team, and which the team does need some work, he was one of them. One of the strongest, most consistent players, hardly ever misses a game or doesn't. Tightened up his defense in the last couple years, still contributed with a ton of assists, and the goals came around a little bit. But bottom line, I'm not wanting to see Brent Burns not on the Sharks ever again. But to your point, I think this is not talking about this is not an insult to the player. Talking about this is like understanding his value and what he could command in return for the Sharks. Understanding that he keeps himself in great shape. He's got a lot of years left. He's getting a little bit older, obviously, but still has a lot of hockey in him. He's built like a horse. So to answer your 2 questions, I don't know, and I don't know. I'll tell you this. I think if you're asking what type of players do you want in return, you probably want something for here and now. You also want something for the future. And you probably, I'm of the thinking right now that the Sharks just do not have enough established forwards. That's where they are a little bit shallow in the pool, so to speak. They've got to get more scoring forwards. I think their top 6 even, you've got Hurdle, you've got Timo Meier, you've got Logan up there. Outside of that, who are your every game consistent scorers? Who are the scores that you can rely on a regular basis? So they need to be a little bit, I don't want to even say top heavy, but they definitely need a stronger top 6. And they also need a 3rd and 4th line that can contribute. So honestly, those are the things that I'm selfishly looking at as an area to add. And if you took away Brent Burns from this team, and again, all speculation, I still think there are enough young, promising defensemen who could cover that gap. Like the defensemen, obviously less defensive players on a team, on a roster, in a lineup every night, right? 6 versus the 12 up front. But I feel like the Sharks are way better suited defensively with young players than they are offensively up front. It's probably the easiest way to put it. Caker Girl, and I realize I'm way behind on the chat, everybody, so I apologize because I've been going off here on tangents. It is great to, I say, hear you, see you, but see your name, Caker Girl. It is great to see that. And the wrench by your name, you're still a mod. You know that. Would I ever consider having a pet duck? Like an Anaheim duck? Would I name it Zegras? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Have I seen PK on First Take? I have not. I think a lot of people assume that I consume a lot of sports media. and opinion-based programs. And I watch it. I come across it just like everybody else, but I really don't have any regular habits of certain shows or certain people that I've got to tune into or I got to hear what they say. And it's not to say that I don't respect them or don't appreciate them or whatever, but First Take is one that I know is out there. I know it gets heated, and I know they make clips that go viral on social. I get it. But sometimes that's what, I don't want to say turns me off, but there's no hook for me. And I'm in sports. I'm somebody who, this is what I do. This is what I love. This is what I think about. Many off hours, but something about the debate, the debate programs. I'm not talking about news or information. I'm talking about the debate stuff. It's kind of fodder for me, and I watch and I kind of spectate, but I don't regularly watch. So no, I have not seen PK on First Take. I honestly didn't even know he was on there. Now I'm kind of intrigued just to see how that's going. All right, let's go back to the old chat. Caker Girl, missed you. I missed you too. And the Sharks content, not going to lie. Yeah, and I wish I had more to deliver here in the offseason, but we don't know who the GM is. We don't know any more about the Evander situation, which is interesting. Not in a sense of would anything ever work again. It's what are the Sharks liable for at this point? Something or nothing, but come on. I'm sure Evander would say this too. Let's move on here. Let's get past this. And there was apparently a holdup with the arbitrator who is now not available for a certain time being. In fact, after the draft, it's messy. So I hope they can settle it soon. And yeah, you know what? I will be making tons of content as soon as there is reason to do so. Oh, but shout outs, by the way, to the Sharks who got the Gilroy dual rink situation all squared away. That's something that's been in the works for months now. And in Gilroy, they're going to have 2 sheets of ice run by Sharks Ice. That is a great addition to Northern California. Again, growing the game. I hope Gilroy is the template for more facilities they could do in Walnut Creek. Could they do that? And could they rework Redwood City? Could they, how and where else could they expand? How about up in wine country? And I don't want to step on the what Snoopy's Ice has going on, but let's go. Let's do this thing right. Am I still in touch with Curtis Brown? Indeed. I can only say this because I talked to him yesterday, but that's the only time we've talked since the season ended, quite honestly. No, we talk, we text. We're not far apart, but he's busy, and I've been doing baseball season. So anyway, there you go. James, hello there, Brody. Is BlackBerry stock a buy or sell at $5.32? Is Smoke bullish on it? James, is BlackBerry still in business? I thought they were done. Dave Stewart, for years, bragged about his BlackBerries. I'm not saying singular. He had multiple BlackBerry phones and always wanted to tell me, this is the phone. I got the buttons on here. It's just going off. I'm like, I can't tell. Are you serious? Oh, speaking of the A's, Seth Brown almost homered and caught at the warning track in center field. Anyway, he used to go off about BlackBerry. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're wrong, dude. The iPhone is what everybody has. Sure enough, I think that was 2018 when he said that. By 2019 or in 2020, he's got 2 iPhones, an iPad. He totally switched over. What happened to the BlackBerry, Stu? Oh, they don't make them anymore. Yeah, because they're going out of business, Stu. Don't buy BlackBerry stock. Come on. Am I wearing makeup? Riley, does it look like I am? Actually, and that's not an unfair question because most TV people do. I decided, I guess it was at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was doing all the shows from home, and I have lights there. It's a better lighting situation. It's more dim, so I didn't need makeup there, and I got used to not wearing makeup at home. And I said, you know what, when I come back to the studio and we're in masks here at the office, and I didn't want to have makeup all over a mask, and it's just whatever. No, I'm done with makeup. So yeah, I've quit wearing makeup. I have a YouTube video. If you search my channel here, I discuss why I stopped. There's a couple reasons. It's deeper than you'd actually think. But I have not worn makeup in a couple years, which is totally against the trend of what I used to always do and what pretty much everybody else, male and female, does in this business. They all wear makeup. Me, I usually just kind of wipe the shine off with a little blotting cloth, and that's it. Or it's like paper towel, basically. And that's it. How is everything going with A's pre and post game? Well, it's been a different season so far. It is kind of crazy how, in 2018 and 19 and 20 and 21 and the first half of 21, the A's were on a roll. We got into a rhythm. We got to know the players. You knew who the regular lineup was going to be. You knew who you could count on. You knew that they were going to win a lot more games than they lost. And I'll never forget, I was in this room actually when I found out and talked to Bob Melvin and realized that he was not going to be part of the A's anymore. And then it kind of instantly hit me, well, it's not just him. When it's time to make trades, the A's are gonna overhaul again. And so it was nothing new that this would be a different team to me. I mean, I think I realized that back in October of last year. But when the trades actually happened in March, mid-March, within a 4-day span, and it set the scene for what this season would be. And to be perfectly honest, for me, it's not even about the baseball this year. This is such a unique season because the whole Howard Terminal project and process is going on in the background. And I'm not even exaggerating to say that is the most important thing for the Oakland A's and the future of the franchise. I don't care if they won a World Series this year. That celebration comes and it goes, and it'll always be remembered fondly, but it wouldn't mean squat if the A's were in Las Vegas in 4 years. It wouldn't mean anything. In fact, it would even be more hurtful that they won and then they up and left. So what I'm telling you here is our focus on the show is actually about the baseball. We're covering the games, but we're doing this A's Stadium Journey series. We just did a whole show with Mayor Libby Schaaf of Oakland the other day. We're going to have Dave Kaval on for an entire half hour next week, I want to say. And there are some other community members, city council members that we would like to discuss this project with on our shows. So expect the push to really start to come strong about Howard Terminal. It's not to say that we're avoiding the baseball, but yeah, the baseball is rough. And I think at this point, a couple things I want to say about the season. Mark Kotze, given the circumstances, has done a tremendous job of holding things together, as much as he can, keeping the right attitude around there. It's not toxic at all. So that's a big one. And I would also say the other thing you hope for, down the stretch of this season is to figure out the players who are the next core group. The Jonah Brides, the Nick Allens, the Christian Paches. Now, they're all up right now, and we'll see how it goes for them, and we'll see what the season brings. But this is kind of how the second half of 2017 played out. A's had a really rough start, but the second half, a couple call-ups, this is the next generation, we got a taste of it. You certainly hope that is the case for this team moving forward. So, long answer to your question. Things are okay. Winning makes it a lot easier. I'm telling you, from the last couple years, look, we've been through this cycle before. 12, 13, and 14. Well, actually, for me, 9, 10, and 11, really rough. 12, 13, 14, really special. 15, 16, 17, rough. 18, 19, 20, 21, special. 22, rough, but maybe special in a totally different sense of Howard Terminal. So we've rode these waves before. It's weird to go back to that, to that rough side again. And, it's not telling you, it's easy to cover a team like the Warriors when they win titles, or it was easy to cover the Giants when they were winning, World Series every other year, or the 49ers when they were making Super Bowl or, recently Super Bowl runs. But when you cover a winning team, it makes your job so much easier. I'll leave it with that. Could another team sweep into Vegas and beat Oakland to the punch? I don't even know that Oakland has thrown a punch in that direction. But I think I know what you're asking, Graham, and sure. But I think overall, I really think what Major League Baseball wants to do is they want to expand into Las Vegas. I don't think they want to relocate a team. If you're one of the owners of Major League Baseball, wouldn't you rather have the A's stay where they're at and then collect an expansion fee in Nashville and in Las Vegas? To me, inevitably, those are probably the next two cities to get MLB teams. And by the way, I guess, does the NL West need another team? Do they need to deepen it a little bit? Is that where like a Las Vegas would go, to the NL? Anyway, I think inevitably, I think Major League Baseball will try that market. I obviously hope it's not with the A's, but I think expansion would be on their mind there and for Dave Stewart's project in Nashville. Hello, Caker Girl. That's a great question. What are my thoughts on Pete DeBoer being coach of the Stars? Hey, you know what? Nice little reunion with Joe Pavelski. Look, it's quite the coaching. First of all, it's been quite the coaching carousel in the NHL for certain guys to just rotate around. It's the same. It's literally the same names in places where they've never been before, and it's the same. I don't want to say 32, but it's like the same 12 coaches that have all been with 4 different teams now. So is it the league not branching out and trying a new face or trying to go to a trusted commodity? But that's not it for me with Pete DeBoer. I always thought he was a great coach. I really did. I liked the way he structured things. I liked the way he worked with the team. Never got terribly high or low with them. In fact, Pete DeBoer always had the strategy that after a game, he didn't really want to talk to the players about the game. He said it wasn't fair to them because he hadn't really gone through the video yet. He hadn't even digested what happened. And so he didn't want to go back to the players and tell them great job or terrible job because he wasn't even sure of it yet. He wanted to let it settle in. And I think that alone is a great example of why I thought he was a good coach, had a good demeanor, good rapport with the players. Came from New Jersey where the reputation would be tough with the media or just doesn't want to open the door to us. But he was very kind and generous with his time and wasn't that at all from my perspective. Wasn't closed door at all to work with. So happy for him. I wish he were going to a team that was out east, but just to get away from the West and the Sharks. But certainly Dallas, a team with a lot of potential, and I think he'll be good for them. In the same way that Las Vegas, and that's the other thing. What were they thinking? They've got a lot of decisions, and I don't know. Oh, sorry, I'm watching the baseball game. That's a 2-run shot. And that's the Mariners up by 5-0 at the Coliseum. I'm a big Pete DeBoer fan. It wasn't his time in San Jose. It just had to happen based on where the team was at. He was kind of the sacrificial lamb, if you will. And I think in Las Vegas, they changed directions and pulled the plug way too early on that. Maybe they'll pay for it. So. Opinion on Christian Pache. Love the dude. Love his energy. Great defensive center fielder right now. And that's a great thing to build on. That's a great foundation. Like, that's him being able to bring something to the table every game and every day. I know I'm going to play great center field. I'm athletic. He's got range. I'm talking like I'm him. He's athletic. He's got range. He's got a good arm. They put him in center field, and with Laureano on the team, he's still the center fielder. I love that. Give him some confidence. Like, that's his thing. Now the bat and the average sub 200 basically all season. I know that's frustrating. I would say this though: if you look at how hard he hits the ball, if you look at his exit velocities. Also, the fact that he doesn't strike out a lot. There are encouraging things there to tell you that, the bat could and should and just might come around sooner than later. This is not one of those things where he's come up and he's overmatched and There's no positive signs. There are enough things, and there's a lot of things actually that make you think, okay, when he gets this part of it down, he's gonna really blossom and show you what he's fully capable of. I think it's an interesting it's a move by the A's that to show him that confidence, right? To have him up all year and to not send him down and to say, you're our dude, you're staying here all year, you're going to get the full taste of this. That's a great sign of confidence. That's the great support that every young player would want. To know that even if they fail for a couple days, they don't have to worry about losing it all, and that's not in the back of their mind. They can concentrate on getting right again. But I also think you just really got to be careful that if the struggles get too bad offensively, or there's something over the course of 162 games, which he's not used to at this young stage in his career, you do have to protect him, right? Like you want to give him that opportunity, but you also need to know that like the protections need to be there for Christian Pache. So I'm not hoping he gets sent down or sent anywhere anytime soon, but I also want to make sure that keeping him up is not only what he wants, but it's also in his best interest. So look, I certainly hope that with the younger players up right now, Jonah Bride, Nick Allen, I hope Pache is part of the next wave of the A's. Do I think we've seen the last of Jumbo playing in the NHL? HC Davos. Will he play in Switzerland? You know what? I wonder. I wonder if Jumbo is going to say, I love the game, but all he wanted was a cup. I mean, I would understand Joshua if he did play in Switzerland because he just loves the game. But I would also understand if he said, I just wanted to win a cup, and I can't win a cup in Switzerland. So I wouldn't rule it out as a possibility. Maybe even the fact that, he would play half of their season over there or play next year, even take a year off. I don't even know if that's possible. Shut yourself down. I don't know. But I do, Joshua. I unfortunately am, I would hate to even say this. He's probably done. And it's not because he doesn't want to. I don't know what other opportunities come out there for him. And he missed a lot this season, and obviously, the playoff games, and was a scratch until the very end. So, it didn't work. For him and Patty, it did not work out that they got their cups, and they tried. They went other places. They tried. It just goes to show you it's not assured to everybody. That's why it's so special when you get one. You want more Pache videos? All right. I'll keep that in mind. Kwame Tura. I like, what I did? I just saw all capital letters and I didn't actually spell it out, and I just read it. So, we'll see what we can do down the road. A bunch of talking heads on First Take. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And I don't know. I mean, look, a lot of these people are connected, and sometimes I'm like, wow, that's a really educated and well put together take, and I understand that. That's sensible. But a lot of times I'm like, this guy's just blowing hot air. So, and not even being personal. Favorite Sharks playoff moment? I mean, it's got to be the Goodrow goal, 2019, April 23rd of not that I was very specific on that. Was it 23rd or 21st? Probably that. More Pache and Nick Allen content. All right. Nothing wrong with wearing makeup. It's I'll tell you what it is, Chip Rocks. It's I'm not making a statement here. I mean, I kind of am actually, but it's more of a comfort factor. I'm just done with it. Oh, it was the best feeling at the end of a day to just wash your face off and watch all that dirty makeup water go in the sink and or get the wipes, the Neutrogena wipes on you. So to not have to do that ever again, if I can avoid it, I will. So, as a Giants fan, or is it A's Giants fan? I'm not sure what you're saying, Matthew. What's going on with the new stadium? Are they staying or moving? And ready, MLB All-Star Game and trade deadline ready for the postseason. Okay, there's a lot going on there. Stadium, next big thing is June 30th. The Bay Conservation and Development Commission, they're voting on the land at Howard Terminal, how to prioritize it. If port priority is removed, if that's the yes vote that everybody's hoping for, there's 27 voting members. They need 18 yeses. If that happens, that's a huge domino in this process. It leads us to next would be a city council binding vote on a development agreement and a community benefits agreement. And then after that, it would be the County of Alameda. There's also a couple lawsuits ongoing. Those won't be finalized probably until early 2023, but those are the next big things. Oakland City Council apparently also considering an advisory vote coming up in the fall election. The advisory vote is not a binding vote. It's not something official that the city would make a decision on. It's just for opinion only. It's pointless to me. I highly object to it. It was not part of this process from the beginning. It's somebody trying to insert something to slow this down, delay it, make it more difficult. And I don't think it's going to work, and I certainly hope it's not even introduced. So that's what's going on. Thomas, I know what you're asking about the A's when they get a new stadium. Is it just going to be business as usual? You know, what's the promise, right? How do we know that you are going to be a high value team and a high dollar team and you're going to spend like one? It's a great question. I will hope to have more for you on that when Dave Cavill joins our shows next week. In fact, in less than a week. Stay tuned on that one. Next week, he's going to be on for a full half hour. And we are going to get into, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, hard questions. I'm going to pop the hard question. No, I need some answers just like you all need some answers. We need to figure some things out, straighten some things out. So we'll definitely get into that. A little off topic, but it's time for the NFL to realign in the near future. Was it when I was a kid that the 49ers and Atlanta Falcons were in the same division? The West? Atlanta's in the West, huh? I know that was not forever, but you know what? I would have to. I know what you're saying. I absolutely know what you're saying. And maybe there's a better way to do it even. Like if we're going to just realign teams in different divisions, maybe we ought to rethink even the AFC and the NFC. Anyway, let me put some thought into that. Let me do a video on that in the near future. Going back to DeBoer to Dallas, kind of cool how Pavelski gets his old coach back. Totally agree. You have to wonder if Joe Pavelski advocated for Pete DeBoer. Hello, AJ. And does it make the idea of moving Burns to Dallas even more appealing for Brent? Ooh. See, I mean, there you go, right? And I think, I don't have his contract details in front of me, but I'm pretty sure there are some modified no trade clauses or no moves for Brent. But you'd have to think with the ranch in Texas, his buddy Joe Pavelski's already in Dallas. The Crazy Eights, they know they can score together. They've got instant chemistry. Yeah, I'm not trying to ship Burnsy away, but if he can get to a better situation for him, and if the Sharks can benefit from getting something back, I mean, he's a valuable player with the Sharks or without them. That's the compliment I want to give. He's a valuable player. Since 2010, Warriors 4 times, Giants 3 times, 49ers 2 times, and the Sharks appear in the Cup once, and then the A's have nothing to show for it. Hey, look, what the Warriors are doing right now, magical, unexpected, and if you've been a fan, and Matthew, I don't know how old you are. Maybe you're a young person, but if you've been around it like me, you've seen when the A's were the thing. They were the team to beat around here. You've seen when the Warriors were garbage for literally 20 years. They were terrible. It's probably longer than that, right? I mean, from probably the early 90s, like right after Run TMC broke up, pretty much all of the late 90s. Well, no, I take it back because then you get into We Believe. But that was kind of a quick blip on the radar. Anyway, you remember the Bob Sura, Eric Dampier days, Latrell Sprewell choking Carlissimo. Like, you remember all that stuff if you're a Warriors fan. If you're a longtime Warriors fan. If you're a new fan, all you know is, 4 titles in 8 years. Giants did 3 titles in 5 years. 49ers been to the Super Bowl a couple times in, recent years and decades. I know the Sharks, Historically, they've only got to the finals once, and they've had 30-plus years to try. But they were an expansion franchise. But the A's have had plenty of success. They just, getting to those final stages have been a barrier since 1990. So I get it. I know what you're saying, Matthew, but let me remind you, and it's what I tell myself all the time. If you've seen enough sports, you know how cyclical it is, and it'll be time for everybody around here someday. Cameron, I have no clue, but I'm hoping in the next 3, 4, 5 years it times out that a new ballpark opens. They get a very competitive team again, that they're building towards that right now. By the way, the Mariners just scored 2 more runs. It's now 8-0 Seattle, bottom of the 5th. My scorecard's going to have a lot of catching up to do when I get to that point. Hello, Bill. Do you really think that if the A's get their new stadium, they will draw from 10 to 30,000 and the owners will spend money? You know what, Bill? I think, let me just state this. 35,000 seat stadium is what they're planning on. And I know what you're seeing is the attendance right now. And I don't know if you understand all the things that have led us to here. I think what the A's will definitely prioritize, once these binding agreements are in place. It's hard to fully commit when they don't know where their next home is going to be. And I'm saying where their actual stadium is going to be, and quite honestly, their city is going to be. Certainly, they're working towards Oakland, spending $2 million a month, apparently, on that process. So they're putting their money where their mouth is in terms of commitment. But can it happen? It takes 2 to tango. Actually, here it takes like 4 to tango. The BCDC, the city, the county, and the A's. And a couple other entities. The lawsuits need to go away and be settled. No, I say settled. That's probably not the legal term. They need to be resolved. I think I'm not going to sit here and promise what the team's strategy is going to be, but I will tell you that the A's, how you know them right now, it cannot and will not be the same if their home games are at Howard Terminal. I think it's a totally different operation at that point. Las Vegas pulled the plug too early on Jerry Gallant, to be honest. I agree with you, AJ. I mean, the decisions they're making down there, I feel like they're feeling the pressure, too early. Pulling plugs too quick, panicked, I don't know what to do. We oh my gosh, we didn't make the playoffs. Which is, look, I mean, remember the first couple Shark seasons? Compare that to the first couple Golden Knight seasons. And were they spoiled? Were they lucky? I'm not going to throw shade like that, but now it's like, we don't know how to stay on track. It's happening too fast. But I talked about cycles in sports. That's definitely one of them right there. You were good out of the gate. Can you sustain that? It just goes to show you how, staying one of the best teams and one of the competitive every year teams, that's hard to do. Getting there, okay, that's one thing, but maintaining that, they couldn't even do it for 5 years. The Sharks were in the playoffs how many years straight? Anyway, there you go. Let me go back here. Forever. And I know that it was probably a autocorrect there, mistake, but why is Noel Gallo so against this project? He has expressed that, and even in suggesting this advisory vote, that the reason he supports the advisory vote is because he supports the Coliseum as a new stadium site over Howard Terminal. And I'm not sure what research he's looking at or what other stadiums he's been to across the country to understand why, or in his mind, why the Coliseum would work. I wish I knew. But I also want to tell you, Forever, that, and by the way, thank you for being here in the super chat. I do really, really appreciate that. I hope to have him on our shows. I hope to talk to him one-on-one. I've not done that. I'm not trying to say this like I'm going to set you up, but I really want to know, I don't agree with you, and I'll tell you that, But I really want to know why you think the Coliseum is a better site. He also pitched at one point the Oakland Raiders' old practice facility, which is actually in Alameda, technically. It's just east of Oakland Airport. I mean, it's not in a accessible location at all. Like, if you think Howard, people say Howard Terminal is not close to anything. Well, it's a 20-minute walk to 3 different BART stations, and the freeway is right there, and the ferry is right there. But the old Oakland Raiders practice facility, there is nothing where that is an airport right there, but people aren't flying into the game. Anyway, I don't know, and sometimes I think he's even disjointed on his thoughts on this, but that's what I would really like to get to the root of it. And I don't know the answer. I don't want to speak for him, but I understand your question and probably your frustration in it too, because I don't understand it, but I would like to have that conversation. AJ says, first take is manufactured conflict for clicks. That's, that's a lot of things are, so you can't knock it, and it must do well. Apparently, Mad Dog Russo went on Stern today and exposed what his salary is of like $10,000 an episode for 40 episodes. And, these shows must be doing well for those type of opportunities. Once the A's are down by 2, the game is over. And that is kind of a frustrating factor, Bill, right? Of watching the A's of prior versions and seasons and, down by a couple. How will they win tonight? What will be the turning point? They're good for a push. Like down 8-0 here tonight? We could pre-record the post-game show right now. We don't even know what the final score is. And a lot of teams being down 8-0, but especially the A's, they've not proven to us this year, even down 3-0, that's a surmountable deficit. Surmountable deficit. All right, I'm not going to be on here too much longer, maybe another half inning or two. Did I get to that one? Maybe they could accelerate the Howard Terminal plan if they commissioned a blue ribbon panel. Oh, we don't say those words around here. Those are those are curse words, AJ. Sorry, I wasn't stalling there, I promise. I was bringing up the old sound effects. Excuse me. Man, I have not gotten the frog out of my throat. Like, I've been working on getting rid of the frog for what feels like weeks now. AJ, you'd probably appreciate this. I added a few sound effects to the old board here. That's going to be the end of all my live streams. I'm going to say, and that's the end of our show tonight. Good night, everybody. What else we got here? You want pizza? Pizza. Or is it tacos? Tacos. Tacos. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Oh, Steven vote. A's down 8. Don't get swept. This is so bad. Why are any of you watching this, honestly? Man, get the frog out of my throat, please. I'm sorry. Let me pull up this one. MM is back. Better chance of me interviewing John Fisher or Jack Nicholson. You know what? Look, I would at some point. I'll just address this, and thank you again for being in the super chat. I would like to have that interview at some point. Clearly, those opportunities have not presented themselves. I think it'd be interesting. And again, I'm not even trying to go a single direction with that. I would definitely be interested in that opportunity. And I do think that in the course of this process, and if and when it all goes well, and there's some binding agreements, I think that would happen. I don't think that's far-fetched. But I think for a lot of reasons right now, I'll respect it right now and hope that it happens down the future. Oh, how would I compare the A's stadium situation to the Angels stadium situation? Well, sports historian, I have to tell you, not long ago, it seemed like the Angels were fast-tracked to owning their stadium and all that land, and they could redevelop it. And look, they're okay with their location. They just want to have free reign over the entire complex. How do I say? Cut down on the parking lot. I was going to say small down the parking lot. That's not English, Brody. They want to, make a smaller parking lot so they could develop more of that land, and there's tons of things they can do there. But their city council in Anaheim now being investigated for corruption. Was the FBI in on this? Their mayor resigned. I mean, it all imploded. The city said we're not selling it. They asked the Angels to pull back their offer. So the talks of Long Beach are out there. I have a couple videos on that here on my channel. So that is. I'll tell you what, it went from the A's being, oh my gosh, they're the ones struggling, they'll never get this done, to, oh my gosh, the A's have had some good things happen, and the Angels are farther away now than they've ever been. And the A's and Angels, right after Fenway, Wrigley, and Dodger Stadium, then it's the Coliseum and Angel Stadium are the next two oldest. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City is right there too. But Kauffman has been totally redone for baseball. Angel Stadium has been totally redone for baseball. The Coliseum was totally redone to make it more multi-purpose. That's why it's beyond fixing. I came up with this analogy this morning, actually. People say, why don't you fix up the Coliseum? Well, my question is, why don't you take that 67 Dodge Charger, I'm just making something up. Why don't you turn that 67 Camaro into a 2022 Tesla Model S? Yeah, it's not possible. Think about it. Some things are logistically not possible. I need a sample of Roy Steele. Well, I do not have Roy Steele.
Leading off for the Athletics.
But I have the legend, Dick Callahan.
Leading off for the Athletics. And playing second base. Number 6, Brody Brazil.
Appreciate you, Mr. Callahan. Rest in peace, buddy. Oh, you like the soundboards, Cake Girl. I appreciate that. That's why you're a moderator. You live by the A's spring training facility in Mesa. The Suns fan for life. Y'all some of the best fans in MLB. Much love and good luck on a new stadium. Thank you so much. And you know what? I hope you get the opportunity to stop by Mesa as many times as you can in February and March every year. And if I ever run into you down there, which I went down there again this year. Finally, I'm back. I would love to run into you. Oh, was it a big Avs Lightning game? Was it a big ending here? Let me take a look here. Go on the old social. Oh, it ended in overtime, huh? Oh, is that a commanding 3-2 series lead? Oh, sorry, 3-1. Well, I was looking at 2-1. Is it a commanding 3-1 series lead for the old Avs? Oh, Nazem Kadri got the game winner. Oh, am I about to see it right here? Let me watch it in real time. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, he got denied. That wasn't the game winner. Oh, wait, what? Wait a second. They just showed him. What is this clip I'm watching? Okay, he got stopped right there by Vasilevsky. Oh, and then they're going to show the game winner. Oh. Oh, Kadri did it to him. Wait a second. Wait a second. I thought that was a goal at first. That wasn't a stop. That was a goal. Look, I got goosebumps. Wow. Wow. That is absolutely crazy. Hello, Chips. Oh, you saw me on the Peloton leaderboards. Well, I don't know if I was a leader on there. Good seeing you. Oh, yeah, hey. Awesome, Chip. Well, you were probably in one of the 20 or 30-minute EDM classes. I've got a couple favorites. I'm also a big Alex Toussaint fan. Love that dude. He's got some good rides. Who else are my favorites? Emma Lovewell. Leanne Hainsby. Big fan. Hannah Frankson. I like Hannah Frankson. Ben Aldis. So that's very cool. Yeah, find me on the old Pello. I'm on there. I wrote it today before I came in here to work. Wow. Colorado won 3-2. Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon could get an expansion team. You know what? No disrespect to Portland. I just think I think MLB is looking at Las Vegas and Nashville. Basically Vegas and Vegas Junior. Nash Vegas. Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, what am I watching? He got stopped. Oh, wait, no, that was the winner. Oh, Alden wants, you know what, Alden, I know you're an enthusiast. The only thing, and I drove up Mount Diablo end of May with my son. We went to the top and we had yogurt shack afterwards. But I'm just nervous about the mix of cars and bikes. And number one, I also don't have the right bike. I would love to do it. Like, I love the idea. I love the challenge. I know it would take me a little bit and I'd be dead tired by the time I got to the top. But I would love to do that someday while I'm still able and healthy. I just worry about the cars. So. Whose phone number would we be impressed to know is on your cell phone? I don't know. It's a lot of A's, a lot of Sharks, a lot of former A's, a lot of former Sharks. Jose Canseco? I don't know who impresses you. I don't know. No, I do, and that's the reason why sorry, I didn't mean to hit the desk there. I keep my phone, pretty close to me at all times, and I have it set up so that I can remotely lock it and remotely erase it if I had to. I don't want it to ever get compromised. So, I mean, there are some important people sports-wise in my phone. And I guess, I don't know. That's not a flex. I can't even name names for you right now. I really can't. A lot of sports figures, though. Yeah, Drew Armenda's definitely on there. In fact, I had the wrong number for Drew. I was texting his old phone for the longest time. And I was like, Drew, do you ever respond? He's like, yeah, that's my old number. What are you doing? My bad. So, love Nick Allen's at bats. I totally agree. He's up there right now. 2 on, 1 out. Should I do some play-by-play commentary for you? Allen with a high fastball, 89 miles an hour, drives it to right field. It's going to be the second out. The runner's going to try and tag up from second to third. That's Sean Murphy. He gets there. So kind of a productive out, but unfortunately, the second out of this bottom of the fifth. Oh, yeah, we got those numbers in there. Pretty sure. Yeah, I used to travel a little bit more with the Sharks. And I say this, like, for my life and my stage of life and my responsibilities in life, I'm fortunate that I don't have to travel. I know it sounds fun to a lot of people, but those are long seasons. And if you travel one season, I couldn't do A's and Sharks, so it only complicates the matter. And you know what? It's just one of those things where it was for a younger person. It was for a younger Brazil to travel a little bit more. Oh yeah, Sharky is in the phone contacts under Sharky's other name. If you guys want, you know what, I don't want to scroll through here. I'll bore you with that. But if you want to ask if I have people's numbers in my phone, I will gladly tell you yes or no. How about some Bill King? Oh, Thomas, you know what? I wish I had something of him recorded too. And I had Roy Steele one time. I had the opportunity during an interview. I should have just asked him to say, hey, can you do a little walk up of me? Like I did this with...
Leading off for the Athletics.
I did this with Dick Callahan. He was
leading off for the Athletics.
So awesome for doing this.
And playing second base. Number 6, Brody Brazil.
Might we see the return of Shark Central or Shark Bite next season? I don't know. I really don't know. I'd be up for it. I would look forward to that. Hosted by Mario Ferraro, not Brody Brazil. Or actually, Drew could... You know what, Drew? Yeah. Drew, you're back. How about this? Hosted by Drew Armenda, featuring Brody Brazil. Like I'll be his Andy Richter. He'll be the Conan and I'll be the Andy Richter. What do you think? How old school is that? All right. I appreciate everybody for being here. Uh-oh. Wrong one. But that, at about an hour in here, is going to be the end. Told you, of my live stream. So thank you so much for everybody, all of you for being here. I really do appreciate that. And check out the channel. I got some more good stuff coming. I got a lot of videos that I've just recorded, a couple more that I'm planning and plotting out. Some Sharks, some Howard Terminals, some A's. So all stuff that's right up your alley. Should we do, let's see if we can take one more look here. Are my cameras back up and running? It appears, and that's why the computer was working so hard. Looks like the cameras are not fully working yet, but let's show you live in Las Vegas right now. Looks like a Golden Knights game is about to break out. Man, it's busy down there in Vegas. I mean, it's always busy. What is this? It's a Wednesday night? How about we take you to Kauai? Ooh, sun setting. It's, what time is it out there? 5:43 p.m. 8:43 here. I got to change this. I got a little delay issue. It goes to black until the camera loads. There's London, England. It's already tomorrow. What else can I pull up here? Oh, I got one. Oh, do I have the Tahoe one? Let me do this for 1 second. Let me pull up Tahoe here. Let's see what kind of sunset we're working with here at Lake Tahoe tonight. See if I can get that to go up there. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Live look at Lake Tahoe. All right, so that's looking east, I believe. Let's see when this camera pans west. Get a full view of the sunset. What a beautiful sunset tonight. Weird weather. Always makes for nice sunsets. Yeah, usually across the Midwest. But also, when we get them here in California, they are special to observe. Okay, camera, come on, move. I know you do it all the time. There you go. See, you could hear me. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. See, I knew it was beautiful out there. Okay, and you know what? That is what we'll end on right there, everybody. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.